Thank you so much for tuning in to the Cardano holders. Let's take a look at what's happening with Cardano's price as we are obviously getting closer to the end of Sunday, obviously closing out the weekend, and as we are going into a brand new week ahead of us. Again, let's waste no more time and see what's happening. If you're looking across the board, I'm sure you guys have watched my market analysis update that went live. If you didn't, no problem. That's where, this update comes into play. We're going to obviously specifically talk about ADA. Looking across the board, as far as the last 24 hours to even the last 48 hours are concerned, we actually did see a little bit of a bounce for the broader market, which again, I'm sure no one's really complaining about. But ADA is actually down right now, and it's actually lagging against the broader market. If you are part of the Cardano community, I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. If not, we're definitely going to discuss what's going on. So you can see Cardano still down about 17.2% on the weekly time frame and down 40% on the monthly time frame. So quite a significant pullback. The price currently sitting at 40.6 cents, up 1% almost in USD side of things, but we're actually down 1% on the Bitcoin side of things, with the market cap sitting below $15 billion and the 24-hour trading volume at about 782 million. As always, though, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in cryptocurrencies. But what happened? If you guys, again, are part of the Cardano community, you guys probably know what's going on. So, not too long ago, yesterday or the day before, we did see the Cardano network going down for a little while, but it picked back up. But that is obviously that brought in a lot of, eyes on, what's really going on. But, Cardano network did exactly what it was built for. And let me show you something here. Solana founder praises Cardano, and read this. Solana co-founder Toli says Nakamoto, sorry, consensus without proof of work is hard, and states that Cardano protocol functioned as designed. It looks like a decade of formal methods and high assurance engineering paid off when it was needed the most. But as far as the native token price is concerned, of course, it's going to have a reaction to this. And it's being felt right now, as we could, see across the board. Because again, let's face it, the broader market did see quite a nice bounce today. We're seeing a little bit of a minor pullback. Obviously, one thing to keep in mind, still a weekend. On the weekends, more manipulation than usual as CME futures are closed. But nonetheless, the broader market still did see quite a nice bounce, 7-8% move since, the lows over the last 2 to 3 days ago. But ADA did not see that bounce, and I think it is due to this specific announcement. The network's up and running and all things in such order that it were prior, but you know the overall sentiment right now on ADA side is still quite bearish because of the obviously the overall market trend. And also when this happens, you do tend to see that kind of having an impact on the price. So not a surprise to me that the price is actually lagging right now behind the market. If you're looking at the hourly time frame on the dominance has been in this upwards trajectory over the last 2 to 3 days. Again, something we've been discussing. Bitcoin, on the other hand, had a nice bounce. You can see for yourself. Bitcoin had a very impressive bounce. We pushed up about 9%. Again, if you've been watching my market analysis updates, you guys know what I'm talking about. But Bitcoin, went up to $88,000. You can see we got rejected at that, and we're kind of seeing a retracement. Well, look where we got supported by. You just can't make this up right now, guys. The $86,000 price point was retested. We have seen a little bit of a bounce since then, but obviously we're still in a weekend. That's something we want to kind of keep in mind. But going back to what I said, even in my market analysis update, we still might see a lot of volatility, and I would suggest you guys to go kind of watch that update in full, kind of go over all the market details that I've went into. But again, we are seeing a little bit of a retracement, market makers stepping in. Obviously, this is not coming as a surprise to me, but let's take a closer look at ADA and see what's really happening with the price of Cardano. So as you can see for yourself, the Cardano's price right now is sitting exactly at the neckline of 40 cents, a level that we've been speaking about on this channel for quite some time. And you can see for yourself that exact same level right now is playing out in front of us. We're retesting it. But let's take a closer look at it and see, what's really going on. So you can see for yourself, ADA price now retesting. We actually retested it just not too long ago, obviously on the 23rd, where we actually dropped below here. You can see for yourself, we came down to 38.69 cents. Obviously, on the 21st, again, this shouldn't really be a surprise because that's when Bitcoin retested that 80,500 key range. But since then, we were trying to see the price, maintaining its level above this key support line, and that's exactly what it has done. We did a wick below here. Where things get extremely bearish in my opinion, especially on the shorter term time scale that we're looking in the midterm, of course. You are looking for Cardano price to drop below here and not maintaining the price above. So like pretty much what I'm trying to get at is if Cardano price were to go below this key support line, you don't want to see the price closing the daily candle below. And that's not what it's been able to do. Every time we've dropped below here, the Cardano price was able to bounce back above this key resistance every single time. So we haven't really seen a daily close below here. If we see a daily close below this 40 cents price point that we've been discussing on the channel, that's where, it could be bearish. But as of now, we're still remaining above that key range. Very nice to see. Yes, we're seeing a little bit of a lag against the broader market. There's no secret about that. But as long as the price were to remain within this range, I do personally believe, we will start heading up, with the broader market. Next week is very important. Again, like I said, go watch the market analysis up to kind of go over what's going on. All eyes on Bitcoin. As far as Bitcoin is concerned, you guys know already. I personally think, the wave is done. And I think Bitcoin is ready to make its way towards the upside. But when I say that, a lot of people expect that Bitcoin is just going to go up straight in one line back up. No, absolutely not. It's gradual increases. That's what you need to be looking for, and we still need to be looking for confirmation. Just cannot ignore the confirmation and such. But again, if you're looking at ADA right now, it's still remaining above this key range. Very important. It's been able to do that. I like what we're seeing here. Again, as far as the target is concerned, if you were to ask me, I'm looking at the 46 cents right now for ADA, to reclaim back above. If you want to put this into perspective, that itself is a move of about 15.2%. I think that is a very realistic target to be looking forward to, especially if we're able to, break out of, this key range. Right now, a little bit of a lag, but I think, slowly but surely, people are going to start to realize network is working, and, network is full in effect. I think that's really going to have a positive impact on the ADA's price, and the ADA's price will kind of, balance itself out with the broader market. Right now, it isn't doing that, which is, again, a clear indication. That's what I wanted to kind of point out. I do expect, of course, if Bitcoin was not able to hold around the key levels, drop below maybe, into the 61.8 key zone, of course, it's going to have an impact on the broader market, and ADA is no exception. So again, we need to look for these factors. Right now, yes, we're seeing a little bit of a lag, but we're still remaining above this key support line. And as long as the price remains above this key support line, I think, we are good in my opinion. Obviously, as far as major key resistance is concerned for ADA, it's at 50 cents. Again, a level we've discussed on this channel several times. If you want to put this into perspective, that's still a move of about almost 26 to 27%. Quite a sharp move towards the upside. But that is, if you were to ask me, Crypto ZX, what is the major resistance to break above? That is the one I think that we want to be kind of paying attention to. But I got to take it one step at a time. Of course, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Of course, if the price of Cardano is dropping below this key support line and it's unable to close the daily candle above that key range, I think we could actually retest where we were last November prior to this major move that we did see for the market. So again, step by step, let me know in the comments what you guys personally think. I love each and every one of you guys. Make sure you guys are following me on X if you have not done so already. And one other favor is please make sure the bell icon is on so you're notified every time we upload. Thank you so much. We'll see you later from Crypto ZX and peace.